Hi, it's Greg Horseman here, and today I'm going to talk about the petroglyphs of Kazakhstan because many of them are on some of their coins. Um, this one is a coin made in the year 2000. If we just look at the coin before we go to the actual petroglyphs, we can see it's a 24-gram silver coin. On the coin, we can see a sun deity or a sun god. And the other side of the coin we can see Kazakhstan National Bank, 500 Tenge, and then the year. Now, I never knew that coin existed, but in 2012 the National Bank made two more coins with the sun deity on it. And that was the first time I actually noticed this coin, primarily because it's square. Now, if we look at the coin, we can see that it's silver, 2012, 24 grams. Here we have the national emblem. And if you want to know more about that, I discussed that in a previous video. And then if we look at the other side, we can see there's the sun god, and at the bottom of the coin, or the right lower corner, we can see a golden flower. It's gilded on it. I have a video about how gilding is done. At the same time, also in 2012, they made a different version of this coin, and that you can see here. And the difference is this one is 50 gram and it's color printed on it. Very nice. I was quite impressed with this coin. I never bought any of them, and I really regret, because I would love to have some coins with petroglyphs on it. What happened was, when I saw this coin, I was very interested in it, and I started doing some research, and I stumbled about an article written by Dr. Luke Herman about the petroglyphs of Tamgaly. That started actually the interest in petroglyphs. And people know I love coins and square coins. What they don't know is that I have a huge interest in history, and a very big part of that is rock art or petroglyphs. Here we have two pictures, and the photos, all the photos actually are made by Dr. Luke Herman. I'm very grateful for him giving me permission to use these pictures. And he recently wrote a book about the petroglyphs of Tamgaly in Kazakhstan. I will leave a link in the description. It's definitely worth for people that have an interest in rock art to buy, because Dr. Luke Herman is one of the leading, probably the most leading scientists with regards to Tamgaly, which is an area in Kazakhstan, but I will show that. Now, what we can see here are two pictures of sun gods. Here is one, and here is another one, and this one is standing on a bull. Now, I cannot explain the significance of that, but it definitely has a deeper meaning, otherwise people wouldn't make this. And we continue a little bit, and before we go to look at more of the coins, on the left side we have one from 2001. Again, it's 24 gram, it's silver. Now, on the right side we just have a little map of Kazakhstan, and here is Almaty, the biggest town, and here is the capital, Nur-Sultan. Just to give you an idea, Kazakhstan is the 9th biggest country in the world. It's the biggest country in Middle Asian region. Has a population of roughly 18 to 19 million people, and an incredible long history, a cultural history that is fantastic, and one can definitely be proud of. If you want to have an idea where it is, on the top we have Russia, and on the side we have China, and then Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan. So we continue a little bit. Here is a map of the most important places. It comes from rockartscandinavia.com. They have a magazine at Oranton. It comes once a year, and I will also leave a link in the description. When you look at your coins, if you have these coins, you would be able to see that this is Almaty, And number 5 is Tamgaly, the place where all the pictures come from, and where many of the most significant rock art comes from. And I'm mainly speaking about this, but you will see that some of the coins come from other areas, and then you can follow here on this little map where that is. This one is stunning. I think it's one of the most fantastic coins, because what we have here is possibly a cow with a calf inside. And I think it's fantastic that people many thousand years ago could make such a beautiful picture. Now, if we look at the coin on the right side, we can see that it's really, really nicely made. It's a fantastic, beautiful coin. Definitely, yeah, it's just stunning. I don't know what to say. I love it, and I wish I had it. And then we continue. These petroglyphs are from a later area, and we can see 3 Turk warriors. I have a bit better drawing on the side, so it's easier to see. Now, if we look at it, we can see a few things. First of all, we can see 3 Turk warriors. We can see that by their pointed hats, here and here. And then we can see that by their wolf banner. If we look at old Chinese literature, they describe the Turk warriors as having wolf banners. Then we can see a deer and somebody with a bow. And we can see 3 people that either kneel down or raise their hand, possibly showing that they are unarmed or that they are kneeling down for the Turk warriors. This coin is from 2003. Again, 24 grams of silver. And then we have one that is also fantastic. We have here most likely what we would regard as a shaman. If we look at the person, we can see he has a scepter or a pin. We can see he has a tail, and the tail indicates that he's probably wearing a deer skin, and then we can see that he's wearing a hat or a helmet with 2 horns on it. This is clearly a person with influence. Otherwise, they wouldn't make these figures on the rocks, and there are quite a lot of them. And here we have a horseman on the coin. We can see clearly it's a horse. Now, one of the ways to see if it's a horse or a bull is horses have ears, bulls don't have ears. And the reason why this is important is because many of the petroglyphs, even if they are horses, would still have horns. And we know from archaeological digs that it was not uncommon to put horns on top of horses, and sometimes they would bury a warrior with their horses, and they would have artificial horns with these horses. So therefore, when we look at these things, we will have to look, do they have ears? Now here clearly this one is a horse because it has ears, it has a penis and a tail. I'll come back to this picture. The picture is again from Dr. Herman. Actually, this is a picture of a horse rider with a falcon. We continue a little bit. Now here we have a chariot. If we look at it, we can see here is a rider or a man controlling the horses, and these are the wheels. Now, if we continue, you see this is how it would look from the side. So these are the wheels, and then there's a horse carrying the wagon or pulling the wagon. And then in 2007, the Kazakhstan National Bank made the noble deer. Very beautiful. Now in Tamgaly, the deers have slightly different anglers, because what one can see here is this is more like a fir tree or a Christmas tree. And this is from the Tenge Valley. You can look at the map where that is. Here we have a panel, and on this panel there's actually really a lot to see. You can start with, here is a sun god, and here and here. All in all, there are 7 here on this panel. We have 12 people, possibly dancing. If we look at the legs, it could indicate they would be dancing. And then we have all kind of different animals here. And over here we have a woman giving birth. Yeah, one could look hours at this. There is so much to see. It's fantastic. Now, a little bit about the time period. Some people split it in 4 parts, but I prefer to split it in 5 parts, but I prefer to split it in 4 parts. So in the Bronze Age period, we have bulls, camels, horses, shamans, deers, wolf goats, chariots, and we have a little bit later, we have the horses with the horns, which I already talked about. And then in the early Iron Age, we have larger panels where they repeat motif. And this is actually quite interesting because it makes the picture more alive, more realistic. And the scenes we see here is hunting goats and deers. And that means that the chariots have kind of disappeared out of the picture, as well as the camels. And then much later, we have the Turkic medieval period, where we see riders with banners, as you could see on one of the coins. And they are on horses or camels. And then we have the hunters with the falcon, which I showed you the picture of. And then we still have the goat and dogs. And then there are a few, but not that many, from the modern period, which is roughly 1500 till around 1960, where we have horses and goats, probably made by shepherds working in the area. And then much later in the Soviet area, we have soldiers, airplanes, and red stars. Now, if we look at the technique, this is again a picture of a horse rider with a falcon. What one would do is take darker stone and chip away the things you would like to show. So this has just been either cut out, or one uses a bronze tool or a stone tool to make this shape. There is another technique where one polishes the stone, and it has a similar effect. And then I would like, of course, to have a special thank you to Dr. Luc Herman. And like I said, all the photos are copyrighted by Dr. Luc Herman. He, on the right side, we can see a picture of his book, the Petroglyphs from Tamgaly in Kazakhstan. And I will put a link in the description. It's definitely worth to buy. It's fantastic. If you have any interest in petroglyphs or Kazakhstan history, you should definitely buy it. I can strongly recommend it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good new year, and I'll be back with more history. Bye.